The man from Europe is a foreigner and an alien. Men must be born and reborn to belong. He is still troubled with primitive fears. Only to the white man was nature wilderness. Only to him was the land infested with wild and savage people. They were totally good for nothing and heaped injustices upon us. They are still ignorant. We also have a religion which was given to our forefathers. If there is but one religion, why do you white people differ so much about it? They have not yet learned those little good things, to love each other and be united. If I go into a white man's house and ask for victuals and drink, they say, "Where's your money?" They contrive to cheat Indians in the price of beaver, but in the Indian the spirit of the land is still vested. When the forest animals began fleeing his approach, then it was for us the Wild West began. Yes, we know that when you come, we die.
Savages, we call them. They are very revengeful. They take many wives. The women carry the greatest burden. Their wives are their slaves. They are much addicted to idleness, and not industrious. Neither have they art, science, skill, or faculty to use either the land or the commodities of it. These savage barbarians, when they met with them, were readier to fill their sides with arrows than otherwise. What multitudes there might be of them, they knew not. Their government is monarchical, but there is no force, there are no prisons, no officers to compel obedience or inflict punishment. Much given to hospitality in their way, there is in every village a vacant dwelling called the stranger's house. The strangers must first be served. They are a people without any religion or knowledge of God, yet they are very trustworthy, quick to understand, intelligent, and just. In the council, he that would speak rises, the rest observe in profound silence. To interrupt one another, even in conversation, is highly indecent. The Indians hear with patience the truths of the gospel explained to them, and give their usual tokens of assent and approbation. You would think they were convinced. No such matter. It is mere civility. These wild men are addicted to gaming. Savages who move so much and work so little do not deserve to lay claim to the land they inhabit. The barbarous Indians are great lovers of strong drink. Clothed in skins, they paint their faces with vermilion, black, and white, and delight in their dancings and revellings. The powwows hold familiarity with Satan. These are partly wizards and witches. Without the diabolical practices of the powwows, the poor Indians die like rotten sheep. God hath hereby cleared our title for this place.
The country itself is large and great, with a good harbor and firm, stable earth. The land yields naturally for the sustenance of man, but the winters are sharp and violent, and subject to cruel and fierce storms. There is an abundance of fish, infinite store of deer and hares, and many fruits and roots. It is dangerous to travel through this hideous and desolate wilderness. During the spring the earth produces wild salad herbs. There are many sweet woods, but they are full of thickets. The land is full of minerals, but represents a wild and savage hue. There are valleys and plains streaming with sweet springs, and the air is very clear. There are hills and mountains, making a sensible proffer of hidden treasure, never yet searched, full of wild beasts and wild men. The country needs industrious men to employ, but men might live as contented here as in any part of the world. Our fathers were Englishmen, and were ready to perish in this wilderness.
They with scythes cut down the grass, with axes fell the trees. The very animals of the forest begin fleeing their approach. The fields were rapidly overgrown by the strawberries and raspberries. In many areas, the edges were beginning to return to the forest. Their cows and horses eat the grass. Their hogs spoil clam banks. They trivialize the ecology of Indian life and pave the way for destroying it. Declining animal populations will not be noticed for many years. All shall be starved.